Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. People have requested that they want a wheel settings video that I use for drifting and playing No Hesi or just racing in Assetto Corsa. But before we get started, just keep in mind that these settings helped me start drifting and they felt the best for me. So I recommend watching this video all the way through the end and then tweaking around with the settings on your own to find out what is the best fit for you. Anyways, we're so close to 800 subscribers. Hopefully we can get 1000 subscribers soon. Just smash that subscribe button for more content like this. Let's jump in. So first of all, we have the access settings in Assetto Corsa in Content Manager. If you don't have Content Manager, I will leave a link in the description below so you could go and download it. If you play the PC version of Assetto Corsa, you 100% need Content Manager. But anyways, my settings here are pretty simple. So first of all, my Logitech wheel has a maximum wheel rotation of 900 degrees. So that's what I set my degrees as. The gamma set that all the way to 1, turn down the filter and speed sensitivity to 0 because adding those will just, or for me, it will just make it feel like a bit less realistic. Now the pedals are pretty much just default, so just make sure that the throttle, brakes, and the clutch are inverted. And the main thing you pretty much need to do here is just set the gamma over here all the way to 1 on the brakes. But everything else you could leave default or pause the video to make them the exact same as mine. Like I changed the sensitivity and stuff, so you could go ahead change it to what you like. Moving on to buttons, I mean, I don't really think I need to say anything here. It's pretty much just self-preference what you want the buttons to do. I have the scroll wheel on the Logitech here for brake balance, the plus or minus sign for turbo. I don't really have anything else. I should honestly change the brake balance to like something else such as like ABS or traction control. Um, that's what I've been using. Maybe there are better settings. I don't know. These are just my preferences. In the systems tab, the only thing I beg you to bind is teleport to pits. This is probably the most important button that you're going to use on the wheel when you're playing online. If you crash and you see someone coming towards you, just hit that teleport to pits button, get out of the way so you're not interfering with their drifting or racing. If you don't get out of the way or you accidentally crash into someone while they're racing or drifting, that could result in a ban. So please bind that. You do not want to be banned. Trust. The patch settings again is pretty much just what you want. It's just all like increased force feedback. I have the plus signs or the D-pad, I guess. Turn signals. I don't even know why I have turn signals. We never no one really uses them. High and low beams. It's some things like you just extra to just make it feel realistic, I guess. That's what patch is for. But otherwise, it's just do what you want. You don't need to like copy anyone else's settings because it's just what buttons do what. So it's pretty easy. Now we have the force feedback settings. I personally set the gain to about 90% because it's just easier for me. And when you start drifting, that is pretty much the best place to start drifting for beginners. It's also not a bad force feedback. I mean, that's probably a really good spot when you want to start racing. I would say 70 to 110% is the range you want to be in for pretty much anything like drifting or racing. The filter and minimum force, set that to 0 because again, that just makes it feel a less realistic for me. For drifting, set all the effects to 0. Maybe if you're racing, you might want to turn these up because then you'll just like feel what the car like is doing. But for drifting, this is just gonna get in the way. Maybe if you get like a bit advanced, maybe you want to turn this up. But for beginners, turn this to 0. Um, I am a beginner too, but if you watched my previous 2 videos, which are these two, like they should be at the top, um, I've been drifting for less than a week now, and I can really like actually take corners. So I feel like I feel like I do know what I'm saying, but just turn the effects off. Pretty much just set them to 0. The miscellaneous, you really don't need to change anything else. I guess the lower speeds force feedback reduction. Maybe just set the low speed threshold to 3 kilometers per hour and set the low speed force feedback strength to 1. It's just some extra things that just make the feel of the wheel just more realistic, I guess. But obviously, driving a real car and driving at least a Logitech, which is all I've experienced so far, it's you need to definitely do some stuff to make the Logitech wheel feel a lot realistic. I have tried the well, I didn't own one, but I have tried the Thrustmaster T150. That honestly, in my opinion, felt less realistic than the Logitech G923. This wheel, you definitely need to like change some settings here. If you're using a different wheel, obviously it's going to be a bit different, but I promise you, like the force feedback stuff, like the gain and stuff, 70 to 110% is pretty much where you want to be for any wheel. That's pretty much it for my wheel settings. It's a pretty short video because it's really not that complicated. Again, this is for my G923. I don't know if all wheels are the same. Oh my god, get out of the way. I don't know if all wheels are the same, but I promise you, again, the force feedback should be about the same for every wheel. Again, like I said at the beginning, these are what felt best for me. It might not feel the greatest for you, so go ahead, change it up a bit, see what's the best fit for you. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments about my settings. Make sure to subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month, or maybe the end of next month. Hopefully by the end of next month. Thank you for watching. Peace out.